welcome to It's Free IP. I'm your host, Felix Chaplin, and today we'll be talking about some trans and non-binary characters in the public domain. That's right, Lily Simpson. I'm encroaching on your territory. For as long as gender roles and norms have existed, there have always been people breaking them. Ancient mythology and folklore reflect this, being chock full of intersex individuals and people getting sex changes through divine intervention. For the sake of brevity, this list will focus on fictional works from the 20th century.
Masculine women, feminine men, which is a rooster, which is a hen? It's hard to tell them apart today and say.
Following the massive success of his book The Wonderful Wizard of Oz in 1900, L. Frank Baum published his follow-up The Marvelous Land of Oz in 1904. The main character of this book was a boy named Tippetarius, or Tip for short, who's being raised by a wicked witch named Mombi. By the end of the book, we find out that Tip was actually Princess Ozma, the long-lost daughter of Pastoria, King of Oz. Mombi kidnapped her as a baby and magically turned her into a boy to hide her from Glinda, the Good Witch of the South. Tip is turned back into Ozma at the end of the book, and she takes her place on the throne as the rightful ruler of Oz. Unfortunately, Ozma's transness wasn't kept in later Oz works after L. Frank Baum's death. When Wyndham Classics made their point-and-click video game The Wizard of Oz in 1985, based on the books The Wonderful Wizard of Oz and The Marvelous Land of Oz, all references to Ozma were removed, with Tip instead becoming the King of Oz at the end. Later authors writing Oz books also tried to retcon the transness out of the canon, usually by making Tip and Ozma separate characters. But hey, L. Frank Baum's books and characters are free IP, so if you'd like to create your own works that play up Ozma's transness, go right ahead.
Girls were girls and boys were boys when I was the top. Now we don't know who is who or even what's what.
Apparently, L. Frank Baum was a trans ally, because this character was also created by him. In his 1906 book, John Doe and the Cherub, the titular cherub is named Chick and is canonically non-binary. That's right. Chick the Cherub is described as being neither male nor female and referred to with the pronoun it. Characters who ask what Chick's gender is always get distracted before it can answer. One aspect of this character that I was initially concerned by was the fact that it was eugenically engineered. I'm no fan of eugenics, but when you consider the fact that the goal of eugenics is to create quote-unquote perfect beings, the fact that the resulting being is androgynous and perpetually appears to be 6 years old is pretty interesting.
You go in to give your girl a kiss in the hall, but instead you find you're kissing her brother Paul.
Now we've reached my personal favorite on this list, Krazy Kat. Krazy is the titular character of the Krazy Kat comic strip, which was created by George Harriman in 1913 and ran until his death in 1944. Throughout the comic's run, characters alternate between which pronouns they use for Krazy, sometimes even changing from panel to panel. George Harriman received countless letters from fans asking what Krazy's gender was, and when asked directly by filmmaker Frank Capra, Harriman answered by saying that Krazy was, quote, something like a sprite or an elf. They have no sex. So that cat can't be a he or a she. The cat's a spirit, a pixie, free to butt into anything. Unquote. Unfortunately, Krazy's non-binary gender wasn't kept in animated incarnations of the character. In the cartoons produced by Charles Mintz in the 1920s and 30s, Krazy was made male. In the Krazy Kat TV show from 1962, Krazy was made female.
Since the Prince of Wales in ladies' dresses was seen, now what does he intend to be, the king or the queen?
The last character on this list is the newest addition to the public domain, or at least it will be in a few days at the time I'm recording this. The titular character of Virginia Woolf's 1928 novel, Orlando, a Biography. At the beginning of the book, Orlando is a nobleman born in the late 16th century during the reign of Queen Elizabeth I. British aristocrat stuff happens, Orlando ends up falling asleep for a few days, and wakes up in a woman's body. While initially disturbed by the change, she just goes with it, eventually accepting it and actively enjoying being a woman. That's all the time we have for today's video. Do you know of any other public domain trans characters that weren't mentioned in this video? Be sure to let us know in the comments. While you're at it, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you won't miss what's next from It's Free IP.